Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at a case that a lot of you have sent in and that you want us to cover.
Yeah.
And it's the case of Ka.
Yeah, 10-year-old Ka and her stepbrother.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the disappearance and murder of 10-year-old Ka. And you sent us a YouTube video kind of analyzing everything that went on.
That's right, a really great video.
Yeah, and so we're gonna unpack this together, and you are our expert to help us kind of go through all the details and everything.
Exactly. We'll be tracing the steps and seeing how it all unfolded.
So, like I said, this is the disappearance and murder of 10-year-old Ka, and we'll be looking at how investigators uncovered the truth behind this really tragic case.
Absolutely, and kind of going beyond just the what and looking at some of the why as well.
Yeah.
Some of the reasons behind everything.
Yeah, for sure. So let's set the scene. It all started on June 7th, 2017.
Okay.
Just a seemingly average summer evening until Ka's mother, Katie, made a frantic call to the police.
Right.
Yeah, a little after 11 p.m.
11 p.m., okay.
She reported both Ka and her 15-year-old stepbrother, Aiden, missing.
Missing, okay.
They had supposedly gone for a walk hours earlier and hadn't returned.
Hours earlier, this is like a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a parent's worst nightmare.
You let your kids go for a walk, you expect them home at a decent hour, and, hours have gone by, it's dark, they're not home.
Absolutely.
So scary.
Yeah, and it was Ailey's twin brother, actually,
Oh, wow.
who first noticed they were missing as it was starting to get dark.
Oh, gosh. So they were out with his twin brother, too? Or
No, they weren't,
No, okay.
but he was the one
Who
who...
realized they were missing.
Right. So that's a really interesting detail, too.
Yeah, for sure.
It seemed like, a typical summer evening stroll gone wrong.
Right.
But what's really striking is how quickly this case, took a dark turn
Okay, yeah.
from a missing persons case.
Yeah, so during the initial search, Ka's father, Jacoby, actually found Aiden walking alone.
Wow. Yeah. And so police immediately brought him in for questioning, hoping to find out what happened to Ka.
Makes sense.
Right.
You find one, you've got to question him
Yeah.
about the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Aiden's first interview is where we start to see these cracks in the story.
Yeah, exactly right.
So he initially claimed that they went to Walgreens
Okay.
to steal Pokemon cards for Ka.
Okay.
She was a big collector, even had a YouTube channel dedicated to Pokemon cards.
Oh, wow, okay.
And when that didn't work out, he said he stole candy instead.
He stole candy instead.
But his account of their route kept changing.
Yeah, right. There's a red flag. Things
Yeah.
were already not adding up.
And his description of what he was wearing didn't match security camera footage.
Oh, wow. So they already had footage
Yeah.
of him.
And he even claimed that they avoided certain areas due to rain, which didn't make sense given the timeline and, nearby shelters and stuff.
Yeah, you can usually tell when people are making things up on the spot,
Right.
trying to explain away any inconsistencies.
Yeah. Right. And to add to that, the police dogs were brought in to search for Ka,
Right.
and they were having trouble picking up her scent along the route that Aiden had described.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
the dogs weren't cooperating with his story either.
No.
Wow.
So all these inconsistencies, along with Aiden's kind of detached demeanor when discussing Ka's disappearance,
Yeah,
just fueled the investigators' suspicions.
absolutely. And, that lack of emotional response is always a big red flag for investigators,
Right. Yeah, you would think.
especially when it's a family member.
That's right.
You'd expect to see a bit more worry or concern.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, the police later revealed to Aiden that they had reviewed security footage from the second Walgreens.
Oh, second Walgreens?
He claimed they visited, and neither he nor Ka were seen there.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
he lied about that.
It's like, how do you explain that?
Right.
It's like, where did they... People don't just vanish into thin air.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is where the pressure starts to mount on Aiden.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the police, they bring in his mother, Katie, hoping to encourage him to be truthful,
Okay.
hoping that will kind of...
Yeah, that family connection.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can make all the difference.
Yeah. And you could see this shift in Aiden's behavior when she entered the room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He became way more agitated, even accused the police of lying and not listening to him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was clear he was feeling the weight of the situation.
Yeah.
And Katie, she pleaded with him to tell the truth,
Yeah.
assuring him that if they had done something wrong, they could face the consequences together.
Right.
But Aiden, he insisted that he was being honest, that he had nothing to hide.
Okay.
But after hours of questioning,
Yeah.
With Aiden's story unraveling and tensions rising,
Right.
investigators decided to bring in a polygraph examiner.
Okay, so it's getting serious now.
Yeah, and remember, they've been questioning him at this point for almost 12 hours.
Wow, 12 hours. That's a long time.
So before the polygraph, the examiner asked Aiden a series of standard questions, including, some about his mental health history.
Right.
And it's here that we start to get a glimpse into a more complex picture.
Okay.
Aiden revealed he had been diagnosed with ADHD,
Okay.
major depression, and had struggled with anger issues and emotional outbursts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had been in therapy for years
Okay.
and had a history of aggression.
So this adds another layer of complexity to the case.
That's right.
Could these underlying issues
Yeah.
have played a role in what happened?
For sure. And it's a question that lingers as we go deeper into this story.
Right.
And Aiden, he's clearly frustrated at this point. He wants to leave.
Yeah, 12 hours is a long time.
Yeah, he insisted his anger was under control, and he'd even stopped taking his medication a few months prior.
Okay.
But as he waited for the polygraph to begin, the case took this dramatic turn, a turn that would shift everything from a missing persons case into a homicide investigation.
Okay.
While Aiden sat there, the police received a devastating call.
Oh, no.
They had found Ka's body.
Oh, my
A
God.
passerby had discovered her face down in a creek.
Okay.
Her clothing was disarrayed. The location was over a mile away from where Aiden claimed he last saw her.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah,
this immediately raises red flags.
absolutely.
Doesn't match his story at all.
Can you imagine the weight of that moment?
Oh, it'd be so heavy.
The polygraph examiner had to break the news to Aiden.
Oh, gosh.
And his reaction was incredibly emotional,
Yeah.
but also difficult to decipher.
Right. How do you...
Yeah, were his tears genuine?
Yeah, how do you read someone in that moment?
Or a performance?
Right.
He kept repeating, "What's going to happen to me?" And I didn't do anything.
Oh,
But even in the face of this discovery,
yeah.
he continued to insist that he was innocent.
Wow. Okay, so he's still sticking to his story.
He claimed that he intentionally left Ka because she was annoying him, but he didn't harm her.
Okay.
And it's a claim that, becomes even more difficult to believe as the evidence against him mounts.
Right. And that claim that he left her because she was annoying him, that doesn't explain why her clothing was disarrayed
That's right.
and why she was found so far away.
Right.
There's still so many unanswered questions.
Yeah. And before we get into that, there's one more crucial interaction we need to examine.
Okay.
Aiden asked to speak to his mother.
Okay.
And it was during this conversation that he confessed to her, "Mom, I think I killed her."
Oh, wow.
Those 5 words
Chilling.
changed everything. And shortly after that,
Yeah.
Aiden decided he wouldn't speak any further without a lawyer present.
Okay.
So while respecting his right to remain silent, the police pressed on with their investigation.
Right.
And what they uncover next places Aiden squarely at the center of this tragedy.
Okay, so we're going to find out what happens.
We'll find out what happens after the break.
Can't wait.
We left off with Aiden choosing to remain silent, but, the police weren't finished.
Right.
Like, there were all those inconsistencies in his story. They weren't just minor details.
Okay. Yeah, they started to form a really damning pattern.
Yeah, so for instance, security footage from a Walmart near the creek where Ka's body was found showed Aiden and Ka together less than an hour before Aiden was seen alone on another camera.
Oh, wow.
So that places him right there.
Right at the location where
Yeah.
she was murdered.
And remember those reports of a child's screams that were heard by residents around the time that Ka went missing?
Yeah.
Those screams, which once, we could easily dismiss, take on this chilling new meaning.
Right.
And it really paints this picture, doesn't it?
It does.
Of her final moments, potentially crying out for help during a struggle.
Yeah, possibly with Aiden.
Yeah. So perhaps the most shocking development in this case came from an unexpected source.
Okay.
One of Aiden's peers came forward with this just bombshell revelation.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
This is the surprise witness that we talked about earlier.
Right.
Right, the one who completely changed the course of the investigation. What exactly did this witness reveal?
Well, this witness, another teenager, claimed that Aiden confessed to killing Ka
Oh my God.
and described the murder in graphic detail.
A confession to a friend
To a friend.
before he even realized the police were involved.
Right.
So what did he say?
According to the witness, Aiden said he used a metal pipe to strike Ka repeatedly in the head.
Oh my God.
He even claimed to have seen her brain and skull.
That's
The level of detail was very disturbing.
so horrifying. And did this match up with the forensic evidence?
Yes, the witness's description aligned with the injuries that were found on Ka's body
Oh my God.
during the autopsy.
So it really confirms the brutality of the crime.
Yes, it does.
Wow. So not only did this witness provide a possible motive, but they also gave a detailed account that matches the physical evidence.
Yeah.
This must have been huge for the investigators.
It was a big breakthrough for sure.
Yeah. Did the witness have any insight into why Aiden might have done this?
Well, the witness speculated that Aiden might have been jealous of Ka
Okay.
or harbored some resentment toward her family. Yeah. They said that Aiden had expressed dislike for Ka's father, Jacoby,
Right.
and just seemed generally unhappy with the family dynamic.
So sad.
Yeah, it really does seem like a mix of teenage angst and some possible underlying issues
Yeah.
that maybe culminated in this tragedy.
Yeah. And the witness mentioned that Aiden used a metal pipe,
Right.
but police hadn't found one at the scene.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this testimony prompted Ka's mother and grandfather to search the crime scene themselves.
Really?
Yeah, driven by this new information, they went back to the area.
Wow.
And shockingly, they discovered a metal pipe hidden in the grass.
So this wasn't just any random object. This could have been the murder weapon.
Potentially, it could have been.
What happened next?
Well, they immediately reported this to the police, and the police collected the pipe as evidence.
Oh.
It was a significant breakthrough,
Yeah.
further supporting the witness's account.
Wow. So with this new evidence, the DNA matches the witness testimony. Did Aiden finally confess?
Well, despite the overwhelming evidence against him,
Yeah.
Aiden initially continued to maintain his innocence.
Really?
Yeah, he even tried to explain away the blood found on his shoes by saying he must have gotten it from something else.
Wow. Denial is a powerful force.
It is, especially when you're facing those kinds of consequences.
Yeah.
The witness also revealed that Aiden had actually expressed concern about the blood on his shoes,
Oh, really?
claiming that he thought he had cleaned it all off.
Oh, my gosh.
So this attention to detail really suggests a level of awareness and premeditation,
Right.
despite his claims of innocence.
It seems like he was trying to cover his tracks, even though he failed.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the end, the evidence was insurmountable.
It was.
The DNA, the security footage, the witness testimony, and that potential murder weapon all pointed to Aiden as Ka's killer.
That's right.
So in December 2021, 4 years after Ka's murder, 17-year-old Aiden pleaded guilty to first-degree murder.
Wow. A guilty plea after years of denial.
Right.
That must have been a difficult decision.
For him and everyone.
For everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison.
Wow. That's a heavy sentence.
It's
Especially for someone so young.
but it reflects the gravity of the crime.
Right. And there's still this big unanswered question, isn't there?
Yes.
Why?
Why did he do it?
Why did Aiden do it?
Despite the guilty plea and the sentencing, Aiden never fully explained his motive for killing Ka. Whoa. The witness suggested jealousy and resentment towards Ka's family,
Right.
but that's just speculation.
Right.
The true reason behind this horrific act remains a mystery.
It's a reminder that even with a conviction, some questions may never be answered.
Yeah, that's true.
We're left grappling with the complexities of human behavior and the dark realities that can exist even within seemingly ordinary families.
Absolutely.
But there's another layer to this case that we haven't discussed yet, and that's the role of social services. Remember, Aiden mentioned that his mother had called the police on him before leading to him and his twin brother being placed in a social services facility?
Yeah, I do.
So this raises questions about the system's awareness of his history of aggression
Right.
and his mental health issues.
Yeah. Were there missed opportunities to intervene?
Right.
Could this tragedy have been prevented?
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
It really does.
We'll delve into this crucial aspect of the case, along with the lasting impact of Ka's murder, when we return for the final part of our deep dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
So we've uncovered these really chilling details of Ka's murder and the, a complex investigation that led to Aiden's conviction.
Right.
But as we move into this final part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like this heavy weight.
Yeah.
We talked about Aiden's history of anger, his mental health struggles,
Yeah.
even his time in a social services facility.
Right.
Could this tragedy have been prevented?
That's the question that lingers, right?
Yeah.
Was there something more that could have been done?
And police records obtained from social services really painted this troubling picture.
Oh, really?
Aiden had this documented history of violent outbursts,
Right.
and the social worker assigned to his case expressed shock that he was allowed to be unsupervised with Ka.
Oh, wow. So they knew.
Yeah.
They knew there was a potential risk.
It seems like there were clear warning signs, but no one intervened.
It feels like a system failure.
Yeah, a missed opportunity to protect her.
Yeah, it raises a lot of difficult questions.
Right.
Like, was the risk that Aiden posed to Ka and others adequately assessed?
Yeah,
Were there systemic issues that hindered, effective intervention?
right.
This case really tragically highlights the complexities and challenges of child protection.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to think that things might have turned out
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
What can we learn from this?
Oh,
How
yeah.
can we prevent similar tragedies in the future?
Well, this case definitely underscores the importance of early intervention and comprehensive mental health support
Right.
for children and families. We need to move beyond, simply reacting to crises
Yeah.
and focus on proactive measures that address, underlying issues
Right.
before they escalate.
And it also highlights, I think, the need for more robust communication between families, schools, and social services.
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone sees something concerning, they need to feel empowered to speak up without hesitation.
Yeah, creating a culture where children feel safe to come forward
Right.
and adults are supported in advocating for their well-being is paramount.
Absolutely. We can't afford to stay silent when a child's safety might be at risk.
Exactly.
This deep dive has been emotionally draining,
It has been.
but it's also been an eye-opener.
Yeah.
It's exposed the dark realities that can exist within families,
Right.
and it forces us to confront these difficult truths about our systems and societal responsibilities.
It really is a stark reminder that even with a conviction, some questions may remain unanswered.
Yeah.
Ka's family and community are left to grapple with this profound loss, while we as a society must examine, how to better protect vulnerable children.
So for you listening,
Yeah.
what resonates with you most from this deep dive?
Right.
Is it the importance of vigilance in recognizing warning signs?
Yeah.
The need for increased support for mental health services?
Yeah.
Or perhaps the unsettling reality that even with justice served,
Right.
the pain and the search for answers can continue long after the case files are closed?
Cases like this challenge us to go beyond the headlines
Yeah.
and really delve into the systemic factors
Right.
that contribute to these tragedies.
Right.
The demand that we, engage in difficult conversations, advocate for change,
Absolutely.
and strive for a world where children are safe, supported, and empowered.
Thank you for joining us on this incredibly difficult but important journey.
Yes, thank you.
Remember, Ka, let her story fuel our collective commitment to protecting the most vulnerable among us.
Absolutely.
Stay curious, keep asking questions, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the depths of information.
See you then.